A reading nation is a growing nation. Where are we going if the children here are not reading?
We are driven by Madiba's vision of education for all, and his anxiety that if young people don't read, they are in danger of losing their history.
Ngiyethemba ukuthi umuntu uzovakashela i-library akwazi ukufunda ngelimi lakhe. It has become common for us all over the world that the nations whose economic strength is based on knowledge economy are more successful than those whose economy is still largely based on the extraction of raw materials.
We are celebrating International Literacy Day at Kamplusha Primary School. You can just inform somebody, educate somebody, and actually inspire somebody to read. Be a part of that revolution and start reading. She established a book club. Now this is something worth celebrating. A round of applause is in order. Mambo Janam Haule, please welcome to my TV.
Thank you so much.
What is International Literacy Day?
It's a day that was proclaimed by the United Nations, by the wing of United Nations, which looks at education and science, which is called UNESCO. They declared this day a day where we celebrate literacy. Depending upon the country, they look as to what are our challenges, what are our deficiencies. So as South Africa, what we perceive as our deficiency is reading.
Today marks, amongst many other things, it marks the 50th anniversary of the Council of Educators who met 50 years ago to eradicate illiteracy. And 50 years on, we're still talking about over 17 million people who cannot read and write. It tells us that there's something that we're not doing right.
So in Mpumalanga, our focus now is on reading. That's why on the 21st of July 2015 at Cyril Clark in Mbombela local municipality, we launched a club, MEC Book Club. We wanted to encourage educated people to read because it said we don't read. This is not only referring to illiterate people. It's referring to literate people that they can't just take a book and read. And there's this myth that when you want to hide an information from a black person, you put it in a book, hide it there, he will starve, yet you have put 100 rand notes inside there without seeing it, because when I give you the book as a present, you'll just receive it and you put it in a shelf, joining other books that are there.
Reading can take you to worlds that you've never been to. I mean, as the first time I went to the US, I knew America because I had read about it.
You have a kid and you need to kind of engrave that at a very, very young age. Is Utingo reading?
I will think so, because one of the main things we are fighting with is technology. Technology is one of the things that makes people don't read. So I'm giving him hours in terms of how he uses his computer, his PC, his laptop.
We're in the process of launching 2 apps. One is an app that we call the History app, or rather His Story app. And it has the story of Madiba and his comrades and how they sacrificed for us to be here today, to be enjoying the fruits that we're enjoying. But there's another app that we're launching, which is a quotes app. You can go to that app and be able to just retrieve any quote. You just have to use a couple keywords and then you've got a quote. So that's something that we're now going to launch even from the simplest of phones. Because you know that information for young people now, once you bring it in a form of a book, most of them don't even go there. Not this again. You know, so what you then do is we're trying to instill reading differently, that you then have young people interested in reading in sound bites.
Teach Children to Save South Africa initiative. What is that all about?
That is the Star Saver program. It is to teach children the importance of saving. It's to inculcate a culture of saving in children. And it's also to promote volunteerism in the sector, because you have the volunteer bankers and financial sector professionals going into schools and teaching the importance of saving. So there we say the motto of the program is Ligotwa Limane. And we work very closely with the Mpumalanga Department of Education on that program. And the program is integrated within the school curriculums, economic management science subject area.
If you stop reading, you stop leading. That is the belief. And then I've read rural causes saying it is high time that we as African, we start to write our own stories. As the proverb says, if we do not write about our history, who's going to write about our history?
You're going to Germany. It's quite a milestone. What's happening there? Obviously, we need to support you as a province. How did that come about, and why are you going to Germany?
The MEC is behind this. The MEC, Umagorijan Mahawal, is behind this. Why Germany? Because The Mind of the Mind has been elected as one of the best books of young authors in Africa. So I'm going for an award in Germany.
One can say young people are facing a bleak future. One can say it's just not happening anymore. So you are dealing with young people and you're seeing these future leaders and you're actually exposed to it each and every day. Are we facing a bleak future as a generation?
I don't think so. You know, I always say that if I use myself as an example, I'm a child of an illiterate mother. You know, my mother cannot read and write. And I vowed years back that I will never be unsuccessful, because I then held on to the just education. And if we have young people who can do that more often, these young people behind us, if we can encourage them to just vow that I will hold on to education, because your circumstances, your current circumstances should not determine the future that you have.
We sit right now with 67% of the adult population in South Africa not saving. So for us, what we're trying to do is get them young so that they understand the disadvantages of not being a saver. And so it's for them to be able to differentiate what's a need, what's a want, the importance of budgeting, the importance of having a plan, for saving for a goal, having a short-term goal, a long-term goal, a medium-term goal. So we go through all that. But beyond that, we also talk to them about how to ensure that your savings are safe and secure. So we work very closely with SABRIC that teaches them what not to do at the ATM, because we also understand sometimes we're dealing with children from child-headed households, so they are responsible for the social grant that the family gets, or else they are the ones that are getting the social grant for Gogo, so they must be safe when they go to the ATM.
We know people are buying books. We know people have many books at their houses. We want them to donate those books, the books that they no longer read, so that we take them to our libraries. We work together with the Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation, because they are the custodians of community libraries in our province. So even today, after this event, we are going to hand over 2 libraries at Ganyamazane, Tendeleni Primary School and Stindile Secondary School.
Most of our libraries, you'll find them in our townships. So we always encourage children, especially children and older people, to use those libraries and take responsibility, because you realize that if there is a service delivery protest, people will be protesting for water, but they will burn libraries, forgetting that these libraries are their resource. When government builds these libraries, we hand them over to the community to take care. We assist people that are studying, people that are at higher education, at higher level, at tertiary, for reference purposes. We also assist kids. We've got internet in all our libraries so that people are able to use the libraries for.
My story's name is Forgotten. It's about a 13-year-old girl that forgets everything when her best friend dies, and her friend's brother then tries to help her remember these things. And unfortunately, not every story has a happy ending, so...
And this one, sadly, it's just going. So, any aspiration of actually going further and writing your own book one day?
This is where I'm starting. Actually, I'm now on the 12th page, and I really want to go further one day.
What inspired this beautiful piece of art?
I wanted to write something for young people, for young women specifically, that inspired them and gave them hope. And Nandi, the main character in the story, is a victim of rape. And so the story is about her recovery and her empowerment that she finds. And it also addresses issues such as being disciplined about schoolwork, about dreaming big, about reaching out for help.
People will think we're moving at a slow pace because one member from at the corner of Bushbuck Ridge will say, but we don't have a library. But government says they're building libraries. We are doing this, but it has to go with the budget that we have. But we are saying to people, they should be patient. Where there's no library, we will reach you. We've got mobile buses. These mobile buses go on certain days to these communities so that they are able to access. We also work with the language section also resides in our department. So in that case, we work with publishers, we work with writers through the Mpumalanga Writers Association. As a department, we support them financially.
And we encourage people to use the community libraries to enter there and open a book and read. And where the community does not have a library because of the limited resources, let them go to schools, because we make sure that we resource our schools. Not all of them, yes, we're not yet there, but where in our schools do not have libraries, we make sure that the community library that is nearby is fully resourced. Every year we celebrate, of course, the International Literacy Day, and we're focusing on other areas where we felt then that they were our deficiencies. Like, remember, in the past, we focused on ABET learning, we focused on Karigude, so that mass literacy eradication, that want all grannies, all housewives, everybody to go to a nearby garage where a neighbor has opened a garage to teach them, and we support them, we give them books. So we were focusing on that, but I'm not saying that because now we say we focus on reading, we are downplaying that. We're not. In fact, they are still high on our agenda. The Karigude mass literacy is still high on our agenda, but now we say our focus is on reading. And this reading and the book club, when we started it on the 21st, we said by the 8th of September, today, when we celebrate the International Literacy Day, want them to have read 13 books, and we've achieved that. We've achieved that, but today is not the end of the campaign. The reading campaign continues, the MEC Book Club continues until every person has joined the club, and even maybe we have some mini clubs in villages and competition of reading. We'll start other competition that I've read 5 books in a week, I've read 10 books in 2 weeks. Then we see what do we do with those people. And what we want to appreciate is that Kumbuk, the Kumbuk shop has partnered with us to make sure that the book that we prescribe is there in the bookshop.
14% of South Africans are reading, and only 5% of parents are actually reading for their kids. So this is quite alarming, and it needs an improvement. So be a part of this evolution, this revolution. Read more, research more, impart that knowledge and information to people. You need to be a part of this. This is my TV. I am Hlengo Sindane. Likewise, Siatrap.